Boundaries aren't selfish, they're essential. Welcome to day 12, and today we're going to be looking at boundary setting. Today we're going to be looking at saying no to the things that don't serve your mental wellness, and yes to the things that do. Boundaries are the things you set to protect your time, energy, and well-being. They're not walls to keep people out, they're guidelines so that you can show up as your best self every time. Many of us struggle with setting boundaries because we're taught at a young age that saying no is limiting or that it's unkind. But the truth is, we need to set boundaries to be kind to ourselves and to show ourselves the same respect that we show others. When you set boundaries, you help protect your mental and physical health, reduce resentment and burnout, build healthier relationships, and create space for what truly matters to you. Today we're going to learn where we need to set our boundaries and how to set them with clarity and compassion. Setting boundaries has 3 clear steps. First, we identify them. Where in our life do we feel drained, resentful, or overwhelmed? These are signs that you need a boundary. It might be a simple thing such as emails after 6 p.m. Or it could be family asking for money, or friends only calling when you need something from you. Alternatively, it could be something you do, like saying yes to every single invitation you receive. The second step is clarifying. We're going to work out exactly what we need. Do we need time? Do we need space? Respect? So for this, we need to be specific. So for the example of work emails after 6 p.m, we're going to be setting a specific boundary that says we're not going to answer any more work emails after 6 p.m. Or even better than that, we're going to stop checking our work emails after 6 p.m. And what we need to remember about this step is we're protecting our time, our energy. We're not doing it to punish others. And the third part of this is to communicate. We need to set our boundaries clearly and kindly. And the best way to do this is not to over-explain ourselves or over-justify ourselves. Simplicity is the key here. For example, clearly stating, I'm not available after 6 p.m. on weekdays, and I'm not available on weekends at all for work. So we're going to go through this together. So what we're going to need is our journal or notebook or paper and something to write with, a pen or pencil. And for this, we're going to look at identifying one boundary we want to set today, and then on your own, later on, you'll go on to identify more boundaries which you feel you need to set if you need to set more. So, step 1 is to identify. For this, think about a time you feel drained or resentful. This can be things such as work bleeding into your time, your home time, your family time, or it could be someone constantly asking for favors. It could also be social obligations, such as meeting up every day or every other day with different groups of people. Maybe you need to move this to every other week or every 2 or 3 weeks. So what comes to mind, just write it down and try and focus on one area at the moment. Now we're moving on to step 2, naming the boundary that we're going to set. Look at the item that you've just written down and try and figure out what kind of boundary you can set for this. And get specific. What do we need from this? For example, I need to say no to plans that I don't want to attend. Or I need to ask for help rather than thinking I can do everything on my own. It could be limiting phone calls to just 30 minutes maximum. Or it could be something like blocking out a whole Sunday morning, for example, for just yourself and not allowing anyone else to interrupt that time. So write your boundaries down clearly and use language like I need. And that way it makes it about your well-being and not blaming it on other people. And now we're going to move on to step 3, which is all about identifying and communicating. So ask yourself, why does this boundary matter? And what will change when you set it? The best place to start with this is to write down how you feel. So maybe you'll feel less stressed, maybe you'll feel more energized, maybe you'll feel less resentful. These are a few of the emotions that you can write down for this step. And then move on to what you'll gain. So maybe you'll gain more time for yourself, more peace, or just more clarity in your own life. And then finally, ask yourself how it will affect your relationships. So maybe you'll be less resentful for these people, or maybe you'll be more authentic in the time you do spend with these people. Understanding the why will help you stick to that boundary much better. What we'll do now is we'll practice the conversation. And remember, we're keeping this nice and simple. We're not going to over-explain it. Here's a couple of examples that you could potentially use. I use one for work and then one for home or personal life. So for work, it could be something like this. I'm not responding to emails after 6 p.m. I'll check them first thing in the morning. And then for your personal or home life, it could follow the lines of this. Thank you for the invitation and thank you for thinking of me, but I'm not able to attend on this occasion. Now, try your own, read it out loud and see how it goes. And now you've got that boundary, practice that conversation, you need to go have that conversation. If it's a conversation with yourself, then have it with yourself. If it's with someone else, then you need to have that conversation with them. Setting that boundary is an act of self-love and self-care. It's going to feel uncomfortable the first time, but it will get easier. And remember, you deserve to protect your own time